Hey there, it's the brand therapist, Michelle B. Griffin, and welcome to your weekly personal brand therapy session. This is the podcast that helps solo experts like you get unstuck and get on your way with a brand that takes you places. I'm super excited you're here. Now let's get going with today's session. Hey there, it's Michelle. Just a heads up that today I'm really excited to introduce an even new feature to Ask the Brand Therapist. That's right, this is now Ask the Brand Therapist, the personal branding talk show, and this talk show is all about you. Last week I introduced Send Me a Question. I'm going to untangle it for you on air, give you a shout out, and today I'm excited to launch my Ask the Brand Therapist talk show on LinkedIn Live and share it with you, my awesome listeners. Today's guest is someone I worked with over a year ago who gave me the gift of what she calls her golden snippets. My guest is Zineb Layachi, and she's all about giving her clients and us today real advice on how to get unscripted video content that just pulls out your brilliance and gets people to say yes to you. You know, I'll be the first to admit that I'm not very good about recording videos, but I love getting on Zoom. I love LinkedIn Lives. I love in the moment video. And more of us definitely need to be out there in video. It's the best way to really get to know you, to form that instant likability, trust, and just get to know someone on a higher level. And today, Z is here to share exactly how she does that with us. And the best part, these episodes with my expert guests are 20 minutes or less to give you the answer to one personal branding question. So I hope you like this new live feature, and I'm going to link to the LinkedIn Live version video so you can check it out yourself. If you have a question, please submit it. I would love to feature you on an upcoming episode. If you are an expert guest who can solve a personal branding roadblock for listeners, reach out to me. I'm going to have links in the show notes on how you can apply and be on the show, because this is a talk show, the personal branding talk show, Ask the Brand Therapist. I'm the brand therapist, and I am here to help you get unstuck and get on your way with a personal brand that takes you places. So you're visible, you build influence, and you are known as the go-to in your space. So enjoy today's episode. Welcome to the Ask the Brand Therapist debut, the personal branding talk show. I'm your host, the brand therapist, Michelle B. Griffin. I'm so excited to have my guest who is all about, fittingly, video, Zineb Layachi. Hey, Z, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for being the honorary first guest. I'm so excited to have you.
I'm honored, Michelle. Thank you so much for having me. And I am really excited about the conversation. I always love chatting with you. So this format is just like a conversation.
It exactly is. And this fittingly is the topic for today's personal branding talk show. You know, a lot of us want to put ourselves out there. Video is the number one way to build connection, trust, likability, relatability. But oh my goodness, we're scared. So I invited Z on the show because she is all about that. I'm going to let her tell us what she does, who she helps, and how she does it.
So just in a nutshell, I help solopreneurs who are kicking ass do video without their charisma, or so most of the time we go to hit record and it just doesn't quite sound like us, right? So through relaxed, recorded conversations, you're being you, right? Post snippets from there. So we're taking advantage of moments where you're supernatural, right?
And I was going to say, and I love that because that is exactly in this moment what we are doing. Like, we are doing it live, but that's exactly what you are showing up and helping people for, what you call the golden snippets, right?
Yeah, the golden snippet, the idea of golden snippet, I mean, it could be anything from 25 seconds to, and a half. That either supports the rest of your post, something that you can build a post around, either finishes the story that you're telling or starts it.
It just illustrates the point you're trying to make. And the problem we are discussing, because every session here is how do we tackle a common roadblock that personal brands, when you're trying to put yourself out there, overcome. So video is so important. And I'll tell you my thing. I am so extroverted in real life, but I tried recorded videos and I just flopped because I'm also an overthinker, perfectionist, all the things. I just hated myself in recorded video, just felt so unlike me. So back in 2021, on my big push that year to put myself out there everywhere, I did a LinkedIn live show every single week of summer of 2021. And then I ended up putting them in a podcast. And I got away from LinkedIn Lives. And you, in a conversation just a few weeks ago, nudged me back in. We were just talking. I said, okay, let's do it. And then it just evolved to this, bringing the podcast back to a LinkedIn Live format, which is where it started. And I can't tell you how natural it feels. I don't overthink it. It's just you and I having a conversation on Zoom like we have many times before. So how would you help people who are scared or don't know what to say or whatever that problem is? How should they do it with this guided conversation you so advocate for?
I would highly recommend, yes, the natural conversations. First of all, don't forget the conversations you're already having. So whatever calls you are already recording, you can grab yourself out of the conversation. There are questions on prospect calls that you're already answering. You're answering them without thinking that you're being recorded. Chances are, if someone asked you that question and you've probably been asked that same question again and again and again, more people have that question. So there's a piece of content for video and not video too. So that's great. So take advantage of those existing conversations are just sitting there.
Absolutely. You don't have to overthink it because you're just you're showing up to just solve problems. And that comes naturally for many of us rather than trying to record, oh, let me think what people are asking about and pull out the video. I mean, every time I do it, it's a disaster. That's why I went to LinkedIn Lives. And I feel like I'm in my natural flow when I'm talking to someone. I don't think about myself. And I think that's what it is. We take the focus off for us when we're live in the moment, and then we're in our natural state. Is that why you call them golden snippets? There's gold in there.
There's definitely gold. And we're not trying to force the gold. So it's a journey. But in the meantime, to not let that stop us from being on video. I want everyone to hit record and have that same energy and recognize themselves and all that stuff. So please, the message to everyone is keep practicing, keep at it. But in the meantime, there are these conversations where you feel supernatural. And the golden snippets, the gold is there, right?
So, and I think in the moment video or these guided conversations that you so advocate for is just the real us, in the age of AI and you don't know what's real, what's not, everything's too polished, the Instagram perfection, we're all over it. That's why TikTok is so huge because it's just real life snippets, right? Why do we like reality show? We just really identify in the moment. So I love that you are helping people overcome either their inability to get on video or their inability to say, I have nothing to say. So you're saying with these golden snippets, you have a lot to say and it's just hidden. So if I'm getting it, it's making sense. Michelle and Z are trying and making a little sense to me on why video should be used in my day-to-day. Where do we start? We don't just show up one day and start talking on Zoom. Is there things you would advocate for? What do you preach to your clients to get going?
So what I would recommend, use your existing recorded conversations, think through that goal, be intentional about it in the moment. 2, how well do you know your customer? If you know your market very well, you know your customer very well, you know what made them jump on a call with you. So you have all those and you press those buttons. Use that. Those are the things that you want to be creating content around. So if you can get someone to get you talking, the only thing that I would recommend is a lot of people say, okay, I'm going to get my VA to get me. Your VA needs to be good at asking follow-up questions.
Because it's got to flow. It's like when you and I get on Zoom, we flow. And a year ago, I did golden snippets for me and we talked for an hour or so. And you knew the thing about it is, not only do you need to have someone knowledgeable, but they need to be a good conversationalist and have a back and forth. So it's natural. Because I've seen where people have just done snippets and it's flat. So you're saying ask the right questions, find someone who's going to really know the space to follow up, like a reporter. Like you almost want to act like or find someone who can be like a journalist for you and ask the questions, the deep dives to pull the right things. Because when I do my personal branding work in the first part in the discovery phase, I have a lot of assessments. I ask questions that I want to evoke emotion. I want to dig deep and uncover something because that's where the gold is, right? Is that what you do with yours?
Yeah, I do put part of me in the conversation too, because I really wanted to feel just a call.
Tell us what to snip, what things to look for. And then I want to get into some of the newer tech tools that are out there, free or very low cost. The fact you can do it yourself doesn't mean that you're going to get the highest quality product. I have 5 treasured golden snippets that are really evergreen that you gave me a year ago that I got from our work together. And I can use those endlessly because you know how to snip evergreen content. And I want to ask you about that. What are the things to look for when we snip?
You've got to understand the attention, right? There are so many videos I see where the snippet starts so slowly, you've lost me. Sharp.
You're right. Sadly, our attention spans are waning. I know it's different, but what is a good example of something get our attention? Even though I know it's all in casual conversation, but what are some of behind the scenes tips you would suggest?
From the start to make it sharp, like if there's something that is surprising, something, even if you take those 4, 5, 6 seconds that are going to be eventually put in context later on, like 30 seconds down the line, etc. But that's the surprising fact, right? I've done that a few times, and that works very well because you're like, what?
Yeah, we got to do what we got to do to get attention. Now, I know, let's talk about the AI tools that have come on the scene since you started doing this. And I know there's a bunch and you've tested a bunch, but there's a few in the market that are better than others that you found. You probably tested many of them, correct?
For now, my favorites are Opus.pro and the Momento.fm. And one of the things that surprised me, Michelle, is the snippets where you have a pause. It starts with a long pause, like where the person is not talking. So it's not there yet.
It doesn't sound like it.
Let's snip one from today.
Okay.
Put it through Opus.pro.
Okay. I want to try it. Let's do that. Let's do that for the show notes, because one of the things with this Ask the Brand Therapist new live format is that it will be on a podcast replay. And so in the show notes, we can test it out to show people what we're really trying to communicate. And this problem at hand today is A, I don't want to be on video. B, I'm just not good at video. Or C, I don't know what to say. And so Z is here like, you have everything to say because you're showing up every day as a human talking to people. And if you show up in a conversation in a Zoom setting, or LinkedIn Lives are great too, because for me, LinkedIn Lives are even better because I know we're in a live format and there is no time, and it's forgiving. It is absolutely forgiving on LinkedIn Live because it's kind of like the real and the raw. So we're not trying to be perfect and polished. But you feel that energy. And at the end of the day, the energy, the connection, the trust, the likability, just the way to get to know me other than a post. Because I always have said I'm an extrovert in real life, but an online introvert. So you're here to say these golden snippets are the way to be as extroverted in life as you are online, or vice versa. Is that right?
It's close enough. I like the way you frame that because it's taking you where you're natural. Right?
Yes, exactly. I love it. And as we close out today, I just want to thank you. You're the one responsible for me getting this show back on. So thank you. And so fitting because your video is your thing. So as we leave today's show, I always like to ask my guests, what's the one actionable tip? I call it my session lesson when I do my solo episodes. What's the one takeaway people can learn from today and go take action?
The first one probably has nothing to do with video, but everything's connected. It's all marketing. Is in business, never take compliments and shut up. So if someone says they love your content, that's fantastic to hear, but it's useless for your marketing. Say thank you because you're nice, but dig deeper. That's when you start getting that juice. It's going to actually help you with marketing. So
I love that. Okay. So dig deeper. Don't go surface level. Always dig deeper. Okay. So where would people find you, Z? How can we learn more about your golden snippets?
I'm online. I'm on LinkedIn.
So yeah, go find her. We'll put a link in the show notes. But if you want to learn how to really be yourself on LinkedIn, I'm always learning from you. I'm always like, why can't I be more like you? Because you nail it. You nail it. It's probably because you're on video a lot too. So I really think I know you. So, hey, point of the whole show, right? So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for helping us solve this roadblock of video and nothing to say, shouldn't say it, all the things. I think you squashed it and you very well answered it. So I cannot thank you enough for being the first guest of Ask the Brand Therapist Live. Well, until next week, everyone, till the next show, you know where to find me. Michelle B. Griffin on LinkedIn, Ask the Brand Therapist. And if you'd like to be on a future show or ask a question, head on over to my profile and get all the details because I'd love to feature your question. Or if you're an expert guest, I'd love to interview too. So until next week, everybody, keep putting yourself out there and keep doing big things. You have a message to share and people to impact. I'll catch you next week.
That's a wrap for today's brand therapy session. Need help with your personal branding journey? Then head on over to thebrandtherapist.io and grab my free resources to get going today with your brand. And until next time, keep putting yourself out there. You have a brand to build, a message to share, and people to impact. Take care, everyone. I'll talk to you soon.